My favorite way to redo vases is to use joint compound for the base layer. And as you can see, it's like a sheetrock, and I just picked it up at our local hardware store. I put it on for the first layer. It is a very workable texture. It's kind of like a pasty, cold feel to it, and it just goes on really nice. First, I stir it up real good, and then I simply take my fingers and I put it on. I'm basically trying to even it out, to just get it on there and to get it spread out even so that there's not any clumps. And I'm just going to do a random pattern on this one. Now you can do smooth, a completely smooth look to it if you want. You could take a trowel and smooth it out, but I'm going to just go for a random pattern however it happens. I experimented with using gloves to put it on, and I didn't have as much control over the pattern, and so I prefer just using my fingers. I actually kind of like this part. I don't mind getting my fingers dirty, and it washes off real easy. I always make sure the bottom is smooth so that it sits evenly. For this one, I just did for fun. I just did a random, I patted it with my hand and kind of made little peaks, just kind of for another random pattern. And once the bottoms were completely dry, I flipped them over and I spread joint compound around the rims. And then after that, I just let them dry. I just put them in by the stove. It needs to be hard enough that I can sand it and it won't chip off any of the joint compound. I just took for this one, because I had done the peaks and the ridges, I just took a sandpaper and I just took just the tips off of those to kind of smooth it out, but still give it that texture that I wanted. I didn't sand the other one. The other one was smooth enough. Sanding makes some dust, so I take a rag and I just clean it off, make sure that it's nice and clean for the first layer of paint. I didn't get joint compound over every inch of the vase, which is fine. When you paint, it'll just blend it all together and you won't notice it. And then it was time to paint. Now this is my favorite part. The paint goes on so smoothly over joint compound. And the paint I used for this one was a chiffon cream by Restyle brand, and it's a chalk paint. That is my favorite paint to use. And I'm doing cream over white, so you can't really see much of a difference. It's just kind of blending it all together and giving it that nice creamy look. For this vase, I did a Royal brand, and it's a flat sheen, and the color is called Morning Coffee. I prefer chalked paint, but I didn't have any chalk paint in this color, so I just used flat, and it works okay. It dries nice. It doesn't really have a shine to it. It's just not quite as chalky as the chalk paint. I ended up giving this one 2 coats, and I should maybe even have given it a third. If you're doing a dark color over a light color, it can sometimes take quite a few coats. And now I'm just going to let it dry, and then I'm going to flip them over and do the tops. Later that night, I came out to check on him. I had put him in front of the heater, so I kind of like to keep track of him. And I keep turning him around, making sure all the sides are dry. I used to paint the insides as well, but I soon realized that if you put in water over and over, the paint will chip off. So I just quit doing that. I just do the exterior and don't do the interior at all. If it's a glass, it will look painted because the paint shines through. I always use a matte finish spray to finish them off with and to give the paint an adhesive. You can check these out in my Etsy shop. I'll put the link to my Etsy in the description, and you will find these. You can find others similar to these. I hope you find this inspiring, and thank you for watching.